Mark Stepnoski played it. Do you know that madman I just interviewed?
I sure do. Used to be my boss.
He's the nicest man in the world.
Great coach.
He's scary, though. He wants to hit things. He's over there putting shoulder pads and helmets on right now.
Old habits die hard.
You know what? You can take the football player off the field. The football player never leaves. I don't know about you in the fall. Do you get that hearkening to be in one more camp?
I would say that there is a mentality to it. There are certain things that you learn. They say sports is a microcosm for life. And so, yeah, when you're a young person and you learn some lessons in sports, kind of some of the things that Tony talked about camaraderie, and teamwork and leadership and all that stuff. Important themes, And then when you leave the game, obviously you can apply those to any area of your life, and hopefully can and will, and teach others, like your children, to do the same.
I think, learning, never need to be taught if you get knocked on your butt, get up and get back in the fight. That inherently was me, but I think that's one of the greatest life lessons these kids can be taught. Because life's not easy, Mark. It's not fair. It's not easy, but football translates into get up and go get them.
Absolutely. You get a lot of life lessons in any sport. And you know what? No one likes to lose. But learning how to lose is also a valuable lesson, as is learning how to win. They're two different things, and they both have to be dealt with in certain ways. And too much of either one of them can be a bad thing. You know what I mean? If you don't deal with it in the proper way.
If you're a professional boxer and you're 0-102, yeah, you should probably at that point give it up. So Mark Stepnoski found his way to the University of Pittsburgh. I'm going to step out here on the line. If Joe Moore was already at Notre Dame, if Joe Moore was coaching in Arizona, would you have still come to Pitt, or would you have gone after Joe because you're all Erie guys?
That's a good question. I doubt that I would have gone to Pitt if Joe had not been there. I didn't really put a lot of effort into looking at other schools because I had my mind made up. I wanted to go to play pro football. At that age, when I was 18 and coming out of high school, my goal was to go to college and become an offensive lineman in the NFL. That was my goal. And I felt that by far the best place I had to fulfill that goal was at Pitt, playing for the show. And fortunately, he recruited me, and that was the easiest job he ever had because my mind was made up, And unfortunately, I only got to play for him there for 1 year.
Yeah.
But 1 year is certainly better than none. And if you have a great coach, even in 1 year, they can make a very significant and lasting impression. And he did on me, and it carried on throughout my career. But luckily for me, later on, I was able to play for some of his acolytes, like Tony Wise. So it kind of all came full circle in that respect.
It's amazing. Mark's talking about a love of Coach Moore brought you to Pitt. That's why we're here this weekend. Some 30 years later since I stepped on a football field, you had a great career, obviously, with the Cowboys. But to be here in Western Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, once again, to honor Coach Moore, to teach his techniques to these young is a testament to that. I mean, I can still see the old man in my head barking with that cigarette and barking at you,
Yeah, I think it's great that they've done this. The fact that it's been around as long, I think it's 14 years now.
Yeah, 14.
Which is a great accomplishment. And it keeps getting bigger and bigger. They get kids from all over the place, different states, different schools. And it's just very impressive. And they always get so many guys to come back and participate from all over the country. So I just think it shows there's a lot of loyalty there to Joe Moore, even this many years later. And I think it's just, it's great to see, old friends, old coaches, and to convene and for this purpose. It's a great way to bring honor to him, a guy we all loved and respected.
There's no doubt about it. I mean, Coach Moore is one of my favorite coaches, and I played left bench at Pitt. You did okay at Pitt, didn't you?
I managed okay, yeah.
You never came down by the water cooler in Mascot. It was great. I mean, we loved it on left bench.
Still drank a lot of water, though.
Yeah, I'd see you. Go, hey, Mark, how's it going? The career with the Dallas Cowboys is unprecedented. That period of time in Cowboys history, champions. I mean, that's why you play the game, is to get the title champions.
Correct.
What was that like, man?
It was a great experience. That was a childhood dream come true, The greatest thing about that experience was the guys I got to play ball with. You know, I mean, everybody loves to win. You know, you're not going to win all the time. So certainly, you know, I know guys who played for a long time in the NFL, never got to experience a Super Bowl, never got to play in one, let alone win one or two. And so that was a huge bonus for me. You know, that was really the icing on the cake. But for me personally, playing football with the guys I played with was a phenomenal experience. So many talented guys. Just an absolute blessing.
Amen, amen. And you know, one of the sayings that goes around at the Joe Moore camp is 1 out of 5. One body out of 5. I mean, the offensive line unit. Well, the Coach Joe Moore Award, which is a great honor. If you don't know the Coach Joe Moore Award, you've got your Heisman Trophy, the Outland Trophy for the best offensive lineman, but the Joe Moore Award is now being created to honor the best offensive line unit. What do you think Coach Joe would think of award? I don't think he'd be like, no, you're not naming nothing after me. Let's go run laps. What do you think Coach would think
exactly.
of that?
He probably would downplay it, you know. But I think it's a great way to just bring attention to his legacy. You know, I'm sure he would be proud of it. All kidding aside, I'm sure he would be. It's a great honor. You know, I applaud the guys that went out of their way to make that happen.
Yeah.
A lot of his former players took the time and the effort to make that happen. Fortunately, I'm happy to say that I got to participate in that as well to a smaller extent, but was really happy just to join on with the crew. You know, the guys, they did the heavy lifting. But I remember back when they got that together and they contacted me, and it was a great thing to be a part of, yes.
It is heavy lifting. The trophy's 800 pounds.
Sure enough, literally, yes.
It sure is. PITT Pitt.
Hail to Pitt.
Amen. Hall of Fame soon. Hall of Fame soon.
If you say so.
Hall of Fame soon.